Yo, what's up, guys? Here with my first video. So, I'm gonna cut to the chase. I'm not gonna play around much. Let's get to it. The topic I wanted to talk about today was, what would you rather do, MP or CRNA? Now, I'm a registered nurse, alright? Literally, every nurse I've talked to has this same question: which to be, an MP or a CRNA? And most of them do not know which one to choose. As did I. I was stuck and I didn't know which is the route that I wanted to go, because mostly I didn't want to limit myself for future opportunities, right? So, just a little bit of my story. I had gotten into nursing thinking I wanted to do CRNA, right? So, my aunt was a registered nurse, so she had told me about it. So that was kind of the goal I had when I got into nursing. But when I got out of nursing, started working a little bit, started getting a little bit amount of money. My thoughts changed a little bit, right? So then I kind of stumbled upon the idea of doing MP, just because, the field for MPs was growing a lot, and I know the opportunities for MPs is, there are a lot, but I still, I didn't know how to decide between both of them, okay? So I'm pretty sure you had the same question, all right? And I know you're probably here because you want a straight up answer. But the thing is, it all has to do with you, all right? But what I'm going to tell you here is that for me, it was neither of them, all right? That's why I could never decide. Once I really figured out what CRNAs do, I really couldn't convince myself that that's what I wanted to do after all. The money's great, don't get me wrong, but, working alongside with them, they seemed really stressed. Yeah, sure, they had a lot of money, but it just didn't seem like they were enjoying themselves a whole lot. I mean, I can't speak for all CRNAs, obviously, right? I'm pretty sure that there's some that enjoy their job, quite a lot, but what I saw, I didn't want for myself, given that I also weigh in the family stuff, hanging out with my family, spending time with them, because money isn't everything, right? You have to take the pros and the cons. And being a registered nurse is already a good degree, So just with that, you should really realize that that's in itself something really good that you're already doing, So then that leaves the nurse practitioner. I started doing nurse practitioner school, went through it. But halfway through, a year in, it wasn't the same, sorry, but it was, I realized that maybe being an MP is not for me, I was working in the ER at the time, and I could not see myself doing what the MPs were doing there in the ER. Again, making 80 plus an hour, for 3 days work per week. But I just couldn't see myself being under that kind of stress that they were. It was, when I'm telling you, it was hectic, in where the fast track where the nurse practitioners were. That's understating it, you know. These guys were just seeing patient after patient and never stopped. They couldn't even get to their charting because they were seeing so many patients, you know. And as far as doing MP at a clinic or anything like that, I really didn't see myself doing that either, you know. But so then, you know, again, I was stuck. I didn't know what I wanted to do. You know, I was a nurse, but at this time I hadn't realized what I realized now, right? That I said that being a nurse is already something good. I always thought that you need to go further, you know, get more money and be happier, you know, get more education. So just being stuck, really feeling stuck, I kind of just wasn't going to work happy, you know. I had thoughts about the future, you know, what was I going to do, you know, what was going to be my legacy, so to speak, you know, because you worry about that and leaving your mark on the world, and that was really big on me, you know. That's why neither of those jobs kind of made me feel like, oh, this is a job that's gonna let me make a difference in the world, you know. So then that came to what I then realized was that maybe in order to make a difference in the world, and I'm already a nurse and I have these this knowledge about, you know, medicine and dealing with patients, maybe the route is to go to med school. But you know, so I was so, you know, far away from med school, you know. I needed to take prerequisites and all these types of classes, and, you know, classes that cost money. But I had put it off, you know, for a while, but then eventually I came back to the idea and I was like, you know, just gonna go for it. Let's do it. So I went back to school with a bachelor's degree. I went back to school again to do some of the medical school prerequisites. Because the big thing in my head still was leaving your mark on the world and establishing a legacy, and I knew CRNA or MP wasn't going to do it for me. You know, it's not, you know, I'm not speaking for everybody else, but I didn't want to have what I thought was a job that you're doing mostly for the money. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so keep in mind, and I've done this recently where I make decisions without an ego, but at this point in my life, my ego was still a big factor of what I was doing and how it was implicating my decision making. So I go back to, you know, school, and I'm doing these prereqs. I went to school for 1.5 years almost for prereqs until I realized that this is not the way either. You know, so I just kind of threw my hands up in the air. I didn't know what to do. I was really devastated, you know. But I had started reading a book called Mastering, and in that book it talks about, you know, going back to a certain passion. And when I was reading the book, I thought maybe my passion was medicine or, you know, health. So another reason why, you know, I should pursue going to med school. But it also said an important part was to be happy and to be comfortable in the world is to create things, you know. And I just thought that maybe med school was not going to help in that aspect at all. You know, it's all reading books and learning equations, studying for the MCAT, you know. During med school, it's just a barrage of information that you have to learn, and I didn't want to take myself down that path or my family. I hadn't really thought of that fully, but as the time got closer to apply to med school, I realized that that's not what I wanted to do. And so with this book, emphasizing creativity, it says go back to something that when you were little you would enjoy, and so I went back to the drawing board. I stopped going to school. No longer was I going to try and go to med school, and I was going to be comfortable being who I already was, and that's why I realized that being an RN is already good, you're already making enough money. People want to do want to go on to CRNA school or MP school because they want more money. Yeah, sure, getting more of a salary or getting more per hour is a way to get money, but also a way to get money is to increase the money you get per allotted amount of time, kind of like crunch it in, maximize the money you're making per hour, without working more, working less, while maximizing the amount of money you make, but also decreasing your costs, and then I looked at how much money I was wasting, per month, per year, and I realized that going up necessarily on the pay scale wasn't really going to be what was going to set me free, as they say, but minimizing the costs. And I was too worried about becoming whatever, an MD, a nurse practitioner, a CRNA, that I was neglecting this part of my life that that really needed to be addressed. So my point is, for me, ended up being that neither of those was the actual way to go. Once you realize that being an RN, is a really good job, and there's plenty of ways that you can make money, because let's be honest, people are doing nursing nowadays as a career to make money. Not all of us are Florence Nightingale, we like to help people, we like to see them get better, but a part of this is that we get paid to do it. If nursing was free, I doubt half of the people I work with or more would even be doing nursing, if it was like a volunteer kind of thing, So keeping that in mind, I stopped trying to chase something, and I started being myself more, being comfortable with who I already was, and not trying to be something that was going to be a grandiose kind of thing, So I'm going to focus now on minimizing my costs, the type of money I'm wasting per month. Probably in the next video I'll tell you guys a little bit about how I plan to do that, and hopefully that all of that works out, but anyways, so just wanted to make a shout out to all you for watching my video. Thanks a lot. If you can subscribe, like the video, then that'll be awesome. But if you have any questions, just shoot me up a comment in the comment section. And I think I about covered everything. So that's it.